Lisa got into the car. She was already really nervous. She's been driving around town for an hour looking for an open shop, and when she found one, it didn't have the oranges her wife wanted. She didn't want to go home empty-handed, but she had to. She wanted to start the car, but suddenly she heard her phone ringing. Jenny called. She sighed loudly and answered. "Hello?" Lisa spoke after answering the phone. "Where are you?" Lisa heard the voice of a phoenix-eyed woman. "I'm looking for oranges for you, Jen." "Do you have oranges?" Jenny asked excitedly. "No, honey, I don't have your oranges." Lisa felt bad that she had to make her wife sad. Most of the shops are closed, and when some are open, there are no oranges. She heard the moan of a phoenix eyes. "I'm going home, Jenny. We'll go to the store in the morning." "You don't love me anymore, do you?" Now Lisa was confused. "Of course that I love you. Why do you think I don't love you?" "You don't want to give me oranges, so you don't love me." Jenny sniffled. Oh no, she's crying now. "Jen, baby, don't cry." Lisa was worried and confused. You don't love me." Now she could hear her crying. Lisa felt even worse, though she had no reason to. She's done nothing wrong. "Jenny, I'll buy you those oranges, okay?" "Don't cry anymore, baby." Lisa's voice was calm. She didn't want to do more damage. "Oh, okay." Another sniffle. "I love you." "Love you too." After that, she hung up. Lisa put the phone on the seat next to her and put her head on the steering wheel. She knew that she had to get her wife's wish at any cost, otherwise it would be bad. "Maybe Rosé will have oranges," she said to herself. She raised her head. Yes, it's a good idea. She started the car and went for her beloved's wish. Author, I celebrated Jen's birthday with a small red velvet pastry because I'm so busy in my university works. "Thank you, really," Lisa said to the smaller woman. "Lisa, I already told you, you don't have to thank me." After Lisa finished talking to Jenny on the phone, she decided to go to Sohi's. She felt really bad that she had to wake her friend up, especially after seeing how tired Sohi was. Lisa was also grateful to her friend for being understanding. After all, not everyone would be as nice as Sohi if their friend stopped by at 4 a.m. to pick up oranges for their pregnant wife. "I really owe you a lot, Sohi." Sohi sighed, wishing Lisa was gone so she could go back to her warm bed and go back to sleep. "Lisa, go away now. I want sleep." In the end, she couldn't stand it. Lisa would be lying if she said she wasn't surprised by Sohi's outburst. "Okay, I'm going now." The taller woman headed for the exit. When she grabbed the doorknob, she turned to her friend and said, "Bye." Sohi also said goodbye, and Lisa left. She got into the car, turned on the ignition, and started driving home. "Babe?" Lisa called Jenny, but she didn't receive an answer. She took off her coat and hung it on the rack, then went to the kitchen to put the oranges away. After putting down the orange, she went to the bedroom. She opened the door and saw her sleeping wife. She glanced at her digital watch and saw that it was already 5:20 in the morning. Shit, I was gone for 2 hours. She lay down next to her wife and hugged her from behind. "Baby." Lisa placed a kiss on Jenny's exposed neck. Jenny pulled away from Lisa's arms and turned to her. She slowly opened her eyes. "Hey," Jenny whispered tiredly. "Where were you?" "I was looking for a place where I can get your orange." Lisa kissed her wife on the forehead. "It wasn't easy, but I got the orange." "Where?" Jenny's eyes shone as she asked the question. "In the kitchen." The phoenix-eyed woman quickly got out of bed to get her orange. Lisa laughed at her and got up to follow her wife. When she entered the kitchen, she saw that Jenny was already preparing oranges to eat. "Rest assured, food will not escape," she commented jokingly. Jenny did not react to this comment at all. "Let me do it." Lisa walked over to Jenny and took the orange from her to help her. "Thank you, honey." Jenny kissed the taller woman on the lips. "You went to Sohi's house?" "Yes. There were no oranges in any of the stores." After that answer, neither of them spoke back. After Lisa prepared oranges for Jenny, they went to sit at the table. It's so delicious. Do you think the baby will be a boy or girl? Jenny asked, stroking her slightly visible pregnant belly. She was excited because she and her wife are going to find out the sex of their baby today. I don't know, but I hope to have a son, Lisa replied. Jenny turned her head to Lisa and looked at her. Don't you want a daughter? That's not the point, Jen. I just prefer having a son. Why? Because if she inherited your looks, a lot of boys would want her for themselves. Lisa looked at Jenny, smiling cheekily. Jenny blushed and slapped Lisa on the arm. You're an idiot. The taller woman laughed at this comment. And you're cute when you blush. The Jenny felt her blush even more, so she turned away from her wife. Sometimes I hate you, she said under her breath so the other woman couldn't hear her. The younger woman didn't hear what Jenny said, but she laughed again anyway. Lisa moved closer to the phoenix-eyed woman and put her arm around her. Jenny snuggled into her wife's arms and laid her head on her chest. I love you, Lisa said, and kissed Jenny on the head. After a moment, Lisa looked at the watch on her left wrist. Jenny lifted her head and looked Lisa in the eye. We should go now? Lisa nodded. Yes, we should, honey. Both women got up from the couch they were sitting on and went to put on their shoes. When they put on their shoes, Lisa took Jenny's beige coat off the hanger and helped her put it on. Then Lisa took her dark brown coat and put it on. Lisa walked over to the door and opened it with a hand gesture indicating Jenny to go first. Jenny smiled at the gesture. Thank you. They walked to the car and got in. Lisa sat behind the wheel and Jenny next to her. The taller woman started the car and drove to the doctor. It wasn't a long drive. They arrived in 15 minutes, talking and singing along to songs on the radio. Both women couldn't wait to find out if they would have a son or a daughter. Now they were both waiting in the waiting room for the doctor to call them into the office. Mrs. Menoban? Jenny quickly got up from her chair when she heard the doctor. It's us. She pointed to herself and her wife. The doctor nodded and gestured for them to follow him. Lisa got up and she and Jenny followed the doctor into his office. The man in the white doctor's coat sat down in the swivel chair by his desk and looked at the two women who sat across from him. For an ultrasound? He asked. Yes, doctor. Lee, Lisa replied. The young doctor smiled. In that case, I invite you. He got up and walked over to the ultrasound machine. Jenny and Lisa did the same. Please lie down, Dr. Lee said to Jenny, which the woman immediately did. Lisa sat next to Jenny and took her wife's hand. Jenny appreciated the move and smiled at her. The doctor approached the reclining Jenny and smeared her belly. He sat down and the device began to ride on Jenny's belly, staring at the screen. After a moment, he stopped and looked at the two women with a smile. Congratulations, it's a boy. Currently, both women were returning home from a visit to the doctor. Jenny was looking at ultrasound scans in her one hand, while her other hand is in Lisa's hand, who is driving. Lisa was really happy. She has a wonderful wife who will soon give birth to their son, their first child. She couldn't wait to see him, to hug him. Lisa also hoped her son would be like Jenny. Lisa. Her wife's voice snapped Lisa out of her thoughts. Lisa turned her head to Jenny and back to the road. What are you thinking about? Lisa stopped the car when the red light turned on. About how lucky I am. Lisa looked at Jenny and placed her hand on the shorter woman's belly. Jenny smiled and kissed Lisa on the cheek. When the light turned green, Lisa started driving. Once they were at the house, Lisa got out of the car and ran to open Jenny's door. She reached out to help the pregnant woman. Thank you. Lisa walked over to the front door of the house and opened it and stepped aside so Jenny could go in first. Jenny walked in and Lisa followed her. You know what I think? The phoenix-eyed woman asked as she took off her coat. Lisa shook her head at them. We should invite the girls and tell them they're having a nephew. I'm coming, Jenny screamed as the doorbell kept ringing. The phoenix-eyed woman knew her friends had come. and Sharon was ringing the doorbell. It always annoyed Jenny that Sharon was always loud, even when she rang the doorbell. Despite this, Jenny still loved her friend just as much as she loved Rosé, Hoyeon, and Sohee. When Jenny opened the door, the bell stopped ringing and a tall girl appeared in front of her eyes. "Jenny!" The blonde shouted happily and hugged the phoenix-eyed girl before she went inside. The other girls followed Sharon inside. "Hi, Jen." The girls said hello. Jenny said hello, too. After saying hello, all the women went to the living room and sat down. Sharon, Jenny, and Sohee sat on the couch while Rosé and Hoyeon sat in the armchairs. "Where's Lisa?" Rosé asked when she noticed her friend's partner was away. "She will come soon. She finishes things for work." Jenny explained to her friend. "Now let's get down to business. Is it a boy or a girl?" Sharon chimed in excitedly. "Sharon, don't be rude." Sohee scolded her half-British friend. "What? You want to know too?" She defended herself. The rest of the girls giggled at the tall antics. "Yes, she's right." Sohee mumbled under her breath. "Yes, tell us." Hoyeon added. "Okay, now, calm down," Jenny said. All the women moved closer to hear their friend. Jenny laughed at that. "You really want to know what?" "Yes," they all screamed. "What is going on here?" Lisa asked, hearing the screams. "Jenny is about to tell us if it's a boy or a girl," Rosé said, pointing to her friend's pregnant belly. Lisa smiled, seeing the impatience of the girls. "It's a boy," she said, pitying the girls. "Yes!" they all screamed. "What is going on here?" Lisa asked, hearing the screams. "Jenny is about to tell us if it's a boy or a girl," Rosé said, pointing to her friend's pregnant belly. Lisa smiled, seeing the impatience of the girls. "It's a boy," she said, pitying the girls. Rosé face shows the biggest smile after knowing she is going to have a nephew. Sohee, Hoyeon, and Sharon hug Jenny tightly. Lisa's protective mode got on after seeing that she take Jenny from the girls and put her one hand at Jenny's shoulder and other on her pregnant belly. Girls rolled their eyes on Lisa. Lisa turned to Jenny. "I am going to cook dinner while you sit here," pointing to couch and glare at girls. "And you guys don't make her tired." Girls giggle on Lisa's possessive behavior. In the living room, the girls and Jenny were sharing stories about their daily lives. Lisa was setting the table, giving the dining table one last look before heading back to the living room to remove her apron. She announced, "Girls' dinner is ready." Jenny, who was sitting on the couch, smiled at Lisa. The girls went towards the dining room, and Rosé helped Jenny get up from the couch. "Rosé, where is Jisoo?" Lisa asked, curious about her friend who hadn't come to dinner. Actually, we were coming together, but at the last moment, she got an emergency call from the hospital," Rosé explained to her friends apologetically. After hearing this, Jenny said, "It's okay. We understand." Rosé nodded. "But next week, Jisoo and I are inviting you guys to our house for dinner. You guys have to come." She paused and looked at Lisa. "Especially you, Lisa." Jenny giggled while looking at Lisa and replied to Rosé, "We will definitely come. I'll make sure to stick with Lisa." In the dining room, everyone was enjoying dinner, especially Sharon. "Jenny, I'm telling you, your wife is a great cook." "I know," Jenny said, her face full of pride. Lisa was just placing vegetables on her plate when they said goodbye to their friends. Lisa closed the door and immediately hugged Jenny. Jenny was a little stunned, but smiled and kissed Lisa on the lips. The kiss didn't last long, and Lisa broke it. "The day was long. I know you're tired," she said, bending down to Jenny's pregnant belly. "And you too, my baby boy." She carried Jenny upstairs, placed her in bed, and gave her a book. "Read this while I take a shower, okay?" Jenny took the book from Lisa and nodded. Then Lisa went to take a bath. When Lisa came back in her fresh pajamas, Jenny was already asleep. Lisa smiled at her adorable sleeping face. It was like every time she saw Jenny's face, she fell harder for her. She climbed into bed, took the book from Jenny's hand, and placed it on the bedside table. Then she turned off the lamp and took Jenny in her arms, kissing her forehead.